Hey Felipe, can you tell me about yourself and what led you to this role?
First of all, thank you for having me today. My name is Felipe Costa. I'm a solutions architect, so I work in Dubai as a security solutions architect. But my career actually started in Brazil, so I'm a Brazilian, so I speak Portuguese. And then I started very soon in my internship together with my college education. So I graduated myself on IT management. And then I got an internship on directly to a security company, which is really unusual to see, especially in Brazil. So I got my internship on a security company and I start to learn a lot of different technologies and I specialize myself on network security. And at some point I got to learn cloud technologies, DevOps technologies. And then I got an offer to move overseas to Dubai. This is where I work today and I work helping customers to move securely data to the cloud and protect their data inside of a cloud and DevOps environment.
Okay. And what led you to the cloud? Was it something that, out of your day-to-day experience, you saw that the customers that you were helping were going into the cloud, or was it something that you were interested in and you were naturally drawn into?
I had some personal interest at some point. So as a network security specialist, usually when you work on network security on that time that I start to learn, I was avoiding a little bit of cloud. I didn't believe it in the clouds change and all of these things. So I started very slow with some personal interest. Oh, this technology looks interesting. So let me try to learn a little bit about it. So and then I joined my personal interest in the cloud technologies together with the necessity for other companies to move to the cloud. But since I work at a security company, I got to learn these cloud technologies because we need to secure and you cannot secure something that you don't understand, right? So I had to understand how cloud works to be able to apply my security knowledge to help customers to be secure in the cloud.
Yeah, fascinating. Sometimes we think that, technology is here to not stay and will just go away by just ignoring it. But when it comes to the
Right.
cloud, no, the cloud is here. It's just only growing, and it's very hard to avoid it. Um, Out of the learning of the cloud, there is so many things to learn. No one is really an expert in everything. What was the hardest thing to learn when you got to learn about cloud and all the services and how to do this, and how did you learn to embrace this new world?
Yeah, so the hardest thing to learn is something that is still struggle today to learn is anything is related to when you need to build some code because I'm not a developer, I never be a developer. So for me, it's really difficult sometimes when you need to build, oh, I need to build a small integration. So I need to build some code running on Python, Java, or Node.js or any other language. So I always struggle with this, but it's something that I'm trying to work a lot to improve myself because I don't think you'll be able to join any company that is in the cloud if you know how to code in the future, because this is one of the skills that will be absolutely required for you to have at least some basic knowledge on how to build an integration, build an application, or consume an API to be able to perform your daily activities.
Out of this, like, of course, code is hard to learn when you come from this network security um, background. Where do you find the resources to learn about? Could be about coding, but could be about the cloud, about your day-to-day job. Where do you find this information?
So there's a lot of places today, a lot more than when I started to get this content. So there is online training platforms like Udemy, Cloud Guru, and many others that you can go there, you can pay for courses and you can take the courses. In my time, you need to pay for the courses a lot of money and you need to go to a physical location on a very strict schedule to learn. So now you can do at your home and we see in the pandemic that you can basically learn anything you want, just pay like $2, $3, and you have the courses over there. You can learn at your time. And also GitHub is an amazing platform to see some people like try to help other people to learn all of these things. So there's a lot of projects that you can learn using GitHub, and is open source and free.
Yeah, and you're totally right. I firmly believe that if someone wants to learn about the cloud or coding, this is not something that can be learned by just watching video or reading some white papers. I think we all need to be hands-on and actually build something on our own or within a team, or just contribute to a project. And to your point, GitHub is a fantastic way to be in the open source world, contribute. It doesn't necessarily mean that only experts are contributing to it, but anybody from any level, even non-coders, can just help with documentation, can help with some formatting of the documentation. No one has to be a coder to be able to do cloud or open source. So yeah, this is a really great point that you're raising.
Some of the things that I try to do always when I see a good project on GitHub is, if I can understand what the code means, I try to improve it. I try to do anything to improve the code, even if it's write some documentation, because this will help somebody else to understand and get started with this. So I always try to do this as well.
Yeah, that's great. So in terms of what you're learning today, like you touched on the code, what is the thing that you are learning today, on a daily basis? Is there any specific thing that you want to share with us?
Something that I'm very curious about is machine learning and AI, but I don't think today, without coding skills, you can jump to this, because I think it's just too much. First, you need to at least have some knowledge on coding and build something and build a couple of things and get this knowledge, and then you can move to the next step, because I think cloud, AI maybe is the new cloud. So today everybody's talking about AI. A lot of people don't believe it, maybe, but then maybe AI will become the new cloud for the future. So this is something that I'm very interested.
Yeah, it's funny how you mentioning that coding is a required step to learn about AI ML. I see lots of cloud providers now going into drag and drop sort of interfaces where you don't necessarily need to know how to code. Those providers, those services are giving you tools to actually build something without coding, which is quite fascinating. I like the approach that you take in terms of learning how to code, learning how to go like deep in the level of the development lifecycle, especially as a security person. Can you tell me more about how does that feel to be a developer with a security background?
So I don't consider myself just yet as a developer.
Right.
So I'm still in a process, very slowly, but I'm in a process. But for me, it's a little bit different, because I see this when I talk to an actual developer. When you start to discuss something, we can see very clear that the mentality is totally different. So the developer, they're trying to make everything as fast as possible and as simple as possible. When the security guy, like me, they are worried about different things. They have a different way to think how to accomplish a task. So this is something that I'm learning every day. So try to put myself in the mind of the developer before I try to do something, to get to know how to explore different ways and keep my mind open as well.
This is fascinating. The way you have essentially changed your mind, or the way you have to look at a problem from a network security standpoint, and then to go solution architecture, and then to go kind of closer to the code. It requires all the time stepping out of the comfort zone and trying to learn something different, and learn how what is the culture of a developer, what is the culture of solution architect, what is the culture of network security person. I'm sure all of those are different. What sort of advice would you give to somebody who wants to learn about the cloud and want to get into this space? Where should they start?
So the first advice that I will give is something that I struggled in before is keep your mind open. Don't try to avoid something just because it's different than you have today. And this is one of the mistakes that I made before that now I have the experience to tell everyone. So don't do this because it's not a good idea. So the first thing is keep your mind open. And second of all, go learn by yourself. You have courses, you have content. There's a lot of big tech companies supporting a lot of people to get started with coding because they have a lot of jobs that they cannot fulfill because people don't have the necessary skills. So now there is a huge need for people to coding and to do AI and to do a lot of different stuff. And there's a lot of contents that you can just take the contents, learn by yourself. And as I mentioned, keep your mind open because maybe the next cloud could be the AI could be the next cloud, and maybe after going to be something else. So
yeah, and this is exactly what we are trying to do at Skycrafters. Get the community members the tool that they need to start, evolve, excel. We are open to any different sort of levels. And something that is worth mentioning, when we were talking about putting things into practice when it comes to learning. I think it's great to learn about technology by watching videos or attending courses and reading white papers, but I think it's also important to put things into practice. You were mentioning GitHub. We do have a source project that everybody can contribute to. Is there a closing word that you want to share with us?
Yeah, so the closing word that I want to share with everyone is please join Skycrafters because this is one of the things that get me excited when I first heard about the project because I got to know different people from different experience, maybe people that didn't come from IT like me, they came from something else. And I got to know these people and they can share their experience and I can also learn with them and share my knowledge as well because I came from a totally different background than other people as well. So please join Skycrafters and we can continue the discussion over there as well.
I love it. I couldn't have made it better. Felipe, thank you so much for your time. We'll have to do that again. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you very much. Let's continue the discussion on the Skycrafter community. And you can find me on Twitter on DevSecGuy. This is my username on Twitter. And also you can find me on GitHub, Felipe Costa 09. Thank you very much.
I love your Twitter handle. Nice catch. Thank you, Felipe. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.